This is subscription drop 5 of thinkingParticles 6. In this feature video, we will discuss the new FlowEmitter we have added to thinkingParticles. It's a new particle generator that has unique features and offers amazing control over particle generation. It is especially useful for fluid simulations because it's the only particle emitter that creates a constant flow, regardless of its size or shape. Let's have a look. How does it work? Here we see a fluid simulation. So that is all done in real time. And now you would say, where's the fluid? Am I kidding or what? No, there's all kinds of fluid in this bottle. It could be water, it could be chocolate syrup, it could be oil, could be anything. So all what you see here is right now a fluid simulation that happens in real time. Please note the shape of the bottle. It is very bellied, so that's an important point in our animation later. So now for real, let's see if there's fluid in it. Let me just tilt this bottle a little bit further so it tips over and we can actually see if there's fluid in it or not. And we will create the particles, the fluid particles, with our new FlowEmitter. The fluid simulation is done with our FluidSolver, and we use physics as well for the rigid body dynamics. So, as I said, let's modify the bottle a little bit, rotate it, tilt it a bit more, and now let's play it back. And suddenly you see fluid is spilling out of the bottle. And it's not just spilling out in an uncontrolled way, it's actually linked to the animation or movement of our main object, the bottle. Imagine you had to do this kind of animation with any other fluid simulator. It would take you days or weeks to get this going. Here we have a natural physical behavior. Whenever the bottle tilts down, the fluid comes out, and you will notice the fluid also runs out. So we have a fluid volume we can set in our FlowEmitter that will have a certain amount of fluid inside of the bottle. Keep in mind, everything here you see is real-time simulated. It's not pre-made, it's not from the cache. This fluid simulation is done in real time on this machine here while recording this video. To prove my point and to show you that this is really real time, I'm going to modify this scene and I'm adding a few more bottles now. Let me just add a few more bottles here. Move them around, place them, rotate these bottles around. So we're still in the same scene, and all I did is I copied the original bottle. And now we are going to bring these additional 2 bottles into thinkingParticles. We use the object to particle, and we added a new feature in drop 5 as well. So now we can select both bottles at the same time. And when we now right click on the pick button, we get the menu that allows us to choose the selection. Now we have both bottles in our list of objects. We need to adjust several settings so that the bottles are in the same group. Bottles are creating shapes so that they work with rigid body. And the rest of the magic comes from our FlowEmitter. It just feeds in the bottles particle group, and everything that's in there will get an emitter at the exact same position. And all we need to do now is just play it back, and you see the magic is going on here right now in real time. Whenever the bottle is tilted down, fluid spills out. When it goes up, fluid stops flowing. And all this can be adjusted inside of the FlowEmitter. So it's a very powerful thing. And just remember, if you wanted to do that in any other application, it would be weeks of setup and simulation. This is running here in real time on the machine. So everything here is simulation. It's not cached, it's happening right now as you see it and as I speak. So this is all done with the new FlowEmitter, and the FlowEmitter allows you to pick the particle group as usual with any particle generator. We have several other settings like the shape, the type, how do we want to create the particles, and most important of all, we have this pouring simulation. That's a physics simulation of the pouring of fluid out of a bottle. So we have a volume we can set, how much fluid is in the bottle, and we can even simulate a glucking effect where we simulate the vacuum and the air inside of the bottle, where you get this pressure-like behavior where the fluid just kicks out and creates this glucking behavior. All this with one simple FlowEmitter operator. It is good, as I said, for fluid simulations. However, you don't need to use it only on fluids. It's a particle generator and you can use it for all kinds of effects. Rocket exhausts, explosions, dust, whatever you want. It's a really very powerful new particle generator in Thinking Particles subscription drop 5. And it does everything for you automatically. It was never easier to do this kind of animations and setups for this kind of animations. And all you need to do is set your parameters, choose your object, and it will create these fluid bottle pouring out simulations for you. And you can really create beautiful natural behavior with this kind of new particle emitter. Here's another example. Same deal. It's really simple. A 6-year-old could set up this scene. You don't need to be a specialist in fluid dynamics anymore. You just create your emitter, put the emitter where you want it inside of your bottle. Could be up, could be down, whatever you prefer. We suggest you put the emitter where you see it right now. And then you would just set your properties. How big is your bottle? How much liquid do you want to have in the bottle? Okay, let's go through this setup. So we have the object to particle that brings in our point helper. The point helper is used to position the emitter inside of the bottle. Then we have our famous FlowEmitter, the particle generator. The particle generator gets as input our point helper or any particle. So you can use this FlowEmitter also on many particles. Then you adjust your size and shape of the bottle and how much volume you have, how much fluid you have inside of your bottle. And that's really all you need to do. And now have a look what's happening. And we just animate the bottle. That's all we do. So we animate, rotate the bottle, and at the angle we set, it starts pouring out liquid. If we tilt the bottle further, we get the glocking effect. We adjusted that. And all this is just the rotation of your bottle. If you adjust now the animation of your bottle, it will behave physically accurate and correct. So if we rotate the bottle back, less and less fluid will flow out until it stops and tears off. So this is really beautiful. There's no easier way to do this kind of animations. It's the most powerful way to do this animation. And I haven't seen anything on the whole market that does it like we do it here. You just set up your emitter, rotate the bottle, there the fluid flows. And it's really dead simple. It's that easy. So let me show another important thing why we made this emitter. As you can see here right now, we have a constant flow. So all the density, look close to the particle density, it's all the same. This is important for fluid simulations. You don't want to have pockets that are denser or create particles inside of other particles, because that would introduce energy into a fluid system and it makes the fluid system explode. What's very difficult right now on all applications in the market is when you change your fluid emitter. when you change the size of it. So let's say you want to simulate that you close your water tap. That's very difficult to do in all applications on the market. Our FlowEmitter solved this issue. It solved the problem. You can set a rate per second based on an area. This guarantees a constant flow. It's the only particle emitter I know on all applications out there that guarantees a constant flow of particles, a constant density of particles. So you have here, for the first time in computer graphics history, a particle emitter that guarantees you a constant flow, which is important for fluid simulations. I didn't find any other application doing that. And let me prove why you want that. It's really a big thing. Let me just animate the size of the emitter. And usually when you animate the size of the emitter, you run into problems with standard particle emitters. Here, as you can see, we can animate the size and we have constant density. Our density does not change. We will have a constant flow of the amount of particles we set, regardless what we do to our emitter. And that's important for fluid simulations, for example, or smoke, or any kind of fluid you want to simulate. You want to have a constant flow of density. As I said, it's like you close the tap and the water gets less and less in this emitter. I hope you enjoyed this first feature video. Check out the other new features of Drop 5, and thanks for watching.